I'm calling the Family Fourth Committee meeting,
I don't think I'm on the committee.
but you're most welcome. The first item is the committee chair update. We have 6 committees and,
Committee to read.
no, I'm just kidding. We have, the committee has been put together. I'm happy to report we have all committee chairs in place. And out of the 6, 5 have co-chairs. And we will be looking for one co-chair in the entertainment, somebody to work with Scott Fluid. So to go through the committees, it was safety and security. And as Russ Kimes will be heading up that, I met with Russ. Administration, that is myself, and hopefully Melanie Hearn will be helping me out with that. In operations, Sven England will be partnering with Larry Pitt. In food and beverages, Tom, the inimitable Stadler, along with Pat Wood, will be working on that.
Beverage includes beer, right?
Anything that we can consume. And on entertainment, Scott Fluid, we'll be looking for a co-chair for Scott. We've got a couple of suggestions I'm working on. And then marketing communications, right now, tentatively, it's Maria Weingarten and Sue Holland. I have not been able to get a date for the coffee, where I sit with them and we talk about the family
I
forward.
don't want to. If she's got the flu.
Yeah.
Maria,
So-
who else?
Sue Holland.
Sue Holland. They're the two that've been doing it.
Yeah, they've been doing it. It's great. So the committee is pretty well put together. I'm happy to report, and I've met face to face with almost everyone. And we are going to be moving ahead in terms of starting to do items that were under the scope of the committee, which is obviously we're going to have discussions. We're going to create a calendar of events. We're going to document tasks. We're going to talk about staffing plans. We're going to make sure that there is a incumbent in the committee so that if someone would like to step down, in the future, that we've got somebody in a smooth transition. And then we can get into that, but as again, I repeat that the Family Fourth Committee will not have any financial reporting or accounting responsibilities. But we'll get into that, not that aspect of it, but the financial subject and the Family Fourth, which I think is important, but a framing kind of influence or oversight. Any questions on the committee structure?
Excellent work. Yeah.
Busy bee, a lot of coffee. The next subject on the agenda is food trucks, and I'm happy to turn that over to Tom, who is heading up the Food and Beverage Committee.
I wish I had made more copies. I've got a list here.
Oh, you got an extra one? We can share.
Make copies if you want.
Making copies. You want to just share that?
That's okay. We'll just
I
share.
don't need, I don't. There you go.
Yeah, you got enough food.
Yeah, I got a food. There's a
John-
food
John
truck,
needs
I'll find it.
No.
All right. All right, so this is the time of year we start looking for food trucks. We learned through the years that you can't wait till May. You gotta go now, because right in January, in fact, 2 or 3 of them called me and said, I'm laying out my calendar, what's going on, you want us back. So if you look there in the leftmost column, you're gonna see 11 yeses. And these are all trucks that we've had before. And they've all been well received. They've all committed. That doesn't mean they won't show up that day, but they're committed.
Right.
The next 3 question marks, the melting truck, we're gonna try them one more time. Little Italy, he wants to do what they call catering versus vending. Catering is like a wedding where you pay them $4,000 and they come and give food to everybody. So I gotta work with him a little bit. And he's also a little reluctant to do, be a pizza truck with one other pizza truck. And I said, with 5, 6, 7,000 people, you're gonna sell out. We don't have enough pizza. Liberty Rock Tavern's a new one. We're working on that one. And then Super Duper, he said he would only come if he was the only truck there. One truck. He said, we can't do that.
You got 6,000 people.
Yeah, so if we have 12, 13, even 14 trucks, that's perfect. Yeah, that's okay.
Food vendors from what health department?
They will be, yeah, they will be.
They have to meet that.
Some of them have already gone to it.
Yeah,
I
some,
saw
a
her
couple of them
today.
have already gone in already, got their permit,
Mhm.
but they all have to be inspected by the health department, approved by them. Yep. And I've shared this with Deb Katz on numerous occasions already, so she can be ready, because the minute they say yes, I'll call her up and want to get it inspected. Sure. Yeah, no, we would not have a food truck ever that wasn't inspected by the health department. And then down the bottom on the desserts, Sky Mercedes, he's on board, he'll come forward. He just hadn't responded yet. We had, unfortunately, I'm a little disappointed, Dan's Cannoli and Kettle Corn said no, they were gonna do it. And, cause I like the cannoli truck and all. But Cinnabon's gonna be there, Waffle Cabin's coming back, they didn't come last year before, they had the longest line of anybody in the whole park.
That's for sure.
And, he's been struggling getting, workers to come work. And then he was a little bit anti the fee, the health fee as well as our fee. But he turned around and said, yes, we'll be there, which I think is great. So that's kind of where we are. It's a good position to be in. I mean,
So
we're
the,
in
the,
February.
Tom, just to be clear, the yeses indicate that they agreed to the pad fee.
Yes,
Okay. And the pad fee is a very standard procedure for fairs and events all over the state. I developed it as I was chairman of the Mayfair. And it's, yeah, $200. $200, so better than a steak.
so we're in good shape. I'm pleased. It's the middle of February and we're almost there.
Right.
And, you got a plan that this one or that one's gonna drop out, or if this one has a stroke and can't do it anymore, get rid of its whole truck, or whatever, that'll happen.
Ask 10, 7 say yes, and 3 show up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
The math of volunteering.
Right.
When the truck breaks down that day, right? You totally.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's food. The
Excellent.
other side, I've not talked to the Exchange Club yet, but I'm sure.
They're
things-
ready.
I'm sure things are gonna be normal and,
Yep. I think the only thing they need is, find out what the menu would be, less soda. More sort of like Snapples and Gatorade, that type of drinks.
Yeah.
But we'll still do the ice cream, the freezer very, very well. This year. And we thank for the check from the town. So.
did you put in for the check?
Got it.
Well, you
They got it.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
our treasurer got it.
So who should I sit down with to go over all that with, what we want to do and what we want to sell, You said popsicles were pretty good last year.
But we don't, it would be the president-elect's position. We don't have a president-elect yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. That will hopefully be decided soon.
Okay,
But I
But you
think,
can work with me.
okay.
right, yeah. And I would say that the same, in terms of menu, I know that the popsicles were very popular.
That's what I heard.
Well, super hot. We sold them out
Okay.
like crazy. I would
Right.
definitely get more than,
And we'll
the
still
ice
get-
cream we didn't sell out.
We didn't.
No,
Should we go with less ice
I
cream?
think less ice cream.
We got that direct from the vendor this time, right? Because I talked to
We
Emon.
did. We did get it direct from the vendor.
Yeah.
And then I got yelled at by Emon for why did we buy popsicles for him if he could get us a
From
better
him?
price direct from the vendor.
Why
He
did
can get
we?
it- That he can get a better price for us.
Oh, really?
I said, okay, we'll talk next year.
All right, yeah. I just saw him the other day, so we started talking.
All right, so I will liaise with you until we have a president-elect.
Okay,
Very good.
sounds good.
Any questions for Tom?
That's terrific.
All right.
We're there. And Pat helped a lot on that. Pat Wood.
All right, next on the agenda is a very interesting topic that I found fascinating. Melanie and I have been meeting. And Melanie is going to help with Family Fourth. And over coffee, she had a very interesting topic that she raised as part of the safety and security issue. And I thought that maybe I would turn it over to Melanie and very quickly she could give you a little update on something we're thinking about. It's not official, but we are starting to put the elements together. Melanie, can you?
Thank you, David, and thank you also for being so kind and giving me your time to discuss this idea and try to refine it a little bit so we can present it to the group. And I think that the way that we're thinking this, as we've talked about it, makes a lot of sense. But we're going to bounce it with a wider audience starting now. So from a safety, from a sensory perspective, to support either could be children or adults that have more sensory needs, we have some ideas that are going to be housed under David's team, in the administration team, because we believe that it's going to be a function that's going to support other teams. So we're thinking about making it, so it's a support function that's going to stand on 3 legs. Number one, as is in every type of event, we have the safety and security. Number 2, we have entertainment. And number 3, we have marketing and media, and I'm going to go into this. So from a safety and security, that's number 1. There has been a lot of recent experiences and partnerships in town, such that we can support our emergency services as they're trying to serve those people that have those sensory needs. And there have been some very interesting events where we had the police department and the fire department and the emergency management services come together and provide a sensory friendly event and partner with some organizations such as Linked that can provide sensory kits. So if, let's say, a child or someone with sensory needs has to be in an ambulance from, there's something that that person needs, there's different tools that can support that person that might be, under additional stress and going through certain things. And our services have been really very supportive of such initiatives. The idea is that as RAS develops his plan, we then start looking for opportunities to support that plan, right? So we are kind of mainly coming and supporting that. The same with entertainment. John and his team had a very successful recent experience where there was some additional entertainment features added to an event to be able to accommodate those kiddos that have more sensory needs. And I think the idea is to talk more with John and said, what worked? What do you think we can translate and potentially help enhance our event? We have to think about the space that we have, the capacity that we have, but it's definitely something that we might be able to support that team, again, based on the successful experience that have already been implemented. And the last piece, which I think is one of the most interesting pieces, is as we're thinking about potentially having a landing web page, like such a website dedicated to promote the event. And again, there's more thinking that side. We might be thinking, can we have a small section for families such that we can provide some resources, where there could be links or small reels or, information so that families can make a plan for themselves. Things that they might want to think about bringing to the event, like noise canceling headsets, sunglasses, different types of tools and fidgets that provide sensory feedback. And there's a lot of opportunities for partnership here, where we have wonderful organizations in town that go, from our wonderful public schools that have occupational therapists with a lot of experience, how they manage, kids in loud assemblies, or we have, partners like the Nature Center who do all year round outdoor events for children. And I can go on, and there's a lot of, wonderful parents that have formed organizations that have partnered. But we might want to think about saying, can we help parents or people make a plan? Because I think what we want to make sure is that at the end of the day, people come and just not say, oh, I survived another 4th of July, right? But they can feel successful. They can feel that they've enjoyed. They can feel that they were supported. They can feel that, their family can come and enjoy, because sometimes it's overwhelming to come with a lot of kids or, family members that, might find big crowded events, overwhelming from many points of view. One of it could be an auditory point of view because fireworks can be loud. So those are kind of the things that we've been thinking. And as David is thinking about this event, and being this the first year that the commission is assisting with this, I know the name of the game is operational excellence, and we are going to be very mindful to use tried and tested ideas that really make sense and fit with the overall plan that our different teams are making. such that we can again make the event more inclusive, more enjoyable, safer if you want, so that, you don't have maybe a kid that has to reach a point of overwhelm and run. We can provide some assistance. And of course, parents know their kids best. There's, it is unique, each individual is unique. And what we're doing is trying to assist, right? Not try to account for every possible situation, but again, provide very interesting tools and ideas. Sorry about that. For people to really feel that they can join the event and feel that, they can really make those lifelong happy memories with their families. So that's a little bit of what we're thinking, and we're going to refine this as we move along.
So Melanie, I thought raised a very interesting question about sensory safety, especially for little children or special needs children. And I think she will explore it. It will be a partnership where other groups will come in and contribute and do the heavy lifting, but it will be under the auspices of the administrative committee, which Melanie and I are working on. And we would supplement. Parents obviously will, not obviously, but some parents will bring headphones for their little infants. Some do, some may not. Some leave before the weather. Some leave. We will not be covering animals.
Not accepted.
Yeah, animals are not part of this in the scope. But once Melanie develops this and we come back and if it's viable, I think it's an excellent platform on which to also promote the family fourth and to reach out to families. If they need to be inclusive, very participative, and everybody should enjoy it on all levels. So I commend Melanie for bringing it up. And as soon as she mentioned it, I was on board. I said, this is a terrific idea.
Sure. We never even thought about it until a group came to us and asked about it for our fall festival. And in that case, we opened up early for that. Then kept it separate, and it worked out very well.
Was this a group of people who had children with sensory needs?
Since Zach arranged it all, yes, but I don't know who exactly organized it. I don't know if there were groups through the school system or what.
But they were
Yeah, I know who you're talking about, John, and I think again we can circle back. I'd love to hear from your perspective, and again, there's wonderful opportunities for collaboration. I said every kid is unique. I have my own experience as a parent, but I do know that there is a lot of potential to really make it of wide appeal. And again, the point I think if we're successful is that a child or even an adult doesn't have to reach that point of sensory overwhelm where you could have someone sort of dashing and doing that what the word eloping means, right? There's different sensory reactions that you want to make sure that people can have tools for management and for enjoyment, and for that, planning is the name of the game. That's why I'm thinking it's not, and it's just thinking about the event itself, but helping families maybe raise awareness, make a plan, bring whatever works for them, right? Because frankly, I've forgotten noise canceling headphones.
Are there sensory kits?
Yeah.
Such a thing available?
So this organization that I reached out, I'm waiting for a reply. We hosted an event at the New Canaan Mountain Troop. I know you know that I'm a board member there. And this organization came, and I think the mom that worked with John in that fall event, and again, our emergency management services were there. And so she brought in those kits, and she partners with a lot of municipalities around in Connecticut, and provides kits that are appropriate for ambulances, for police cars, sometimes for schools. And she has different kits. Sort of, I was there, I investigated and saw the tools. They include noise canceling headsets. They include the very classic, the most broadly used tools that sometimes you have in schools. And she has that in little packages, so that, for example, a police car can have one in their trunk. Doesn't need maybe a lot of space. Ambulances can have one. And again, we can see how we can collaborate if this could be of interest. But David mentioned we're going to have like a central information desk at the event, And so maybe we have some kids there, you know, maybe this mom is willing to help with some kids and be there and promote. I mean, and she might have also other suggestions. So these are, for me, very, very interesting because these are things that are already being used in other towns, and that, you know, there's, they have been really carefully curated. So again, doesn't mean that we come in and reinvent the wheel, but that we try to understand and learn from best practices. And then maybe we are not going to be anticipating every situation. We're going to hopefully learn every year and, you know, create some sort of body of knowledge, something that we can sort of have, you know, best practices. We learn from it, we document, you know, we're going to build presentations or PowerPoints where we can kind of put all of this information. And this may be something that, you know, can evolve and be incorporated, not just in this 4th of July, but in other events. I think that there's a lot of more awareness these days. And again, it really, it starts with safety, but also I think that we can really provide a good service and a good, just enhance the quality of the experience again for all our residents. So that will be a little bit the thought process. And again, go with tried and tested ideas that have worked, and make sure that we do so in a way that's supportive of the, you know, plan that our different teams are building and have been, of course, approved by the commission. And so that would be why it's, I appreciate that David is kind of housing this in the administration team, so we can then try to work on these 3 different streams of work, let's say. And again, with John and his team, his feedback, which is going to be also invaluable in this process.
So this is a work in progress,
Right.
but we just generally outlined what the goals are and the approaches are, not to encumber the operation of the committee or the performance of Family Fourth, but to develop a program that will enhance the experience.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm very grateful for Melanie to take the lead on this. Again, it's a work in progress. We will come back to the committee from time to time and give updates on where we're going. And then I think at some point we'll have to say, this is the program, this is how we'll run it.
Yeah.
And we'll all vote on it and say, let's go.
Great idea.
Right. Yeah, I love it. I think it's terrific.
All right, so one of the other, we're closing out that topic. The next topic is a financial liaison. Now, as I said before, we are not taking on any accounting or financial reporting responsibilities, but we are cognizant of the finances that are behind the Family Fourth. And one of the items that I have up on this agenda item is, from the town's perspective, is there someone that we should look to be our financial liaison, somebody to at least come back to us and say, well, you know what, here's your budget. And here's where you should try to keep, you know, within the lines of what you're doing. And here's where, you know, payment process systems, somebody that we could talk to in the town with the financial oversight knowledge to help guide our decisions and operations. So we're going to be, you know, looking to kind of not fill that position, but find someone to.
Any suggestions as to who that person should be?
This is a person that's in the town.
Works for the town,
Works
yeah,
for the town.
because all the money runs through the town now. So should be somebody in the town. There's somebody in the finance department? No.
I mean, one of the names that I've kind of thought about was Tucker Murphy, but I think what's gonna happen is it's gonna eventually go through John no matter what.
Yeah.
So maybe,
I have to sign off on all my bills and stuff, so.
Okay.
so I know you got a lot to do, so that's why I'm trying to avoid saying, oh, no, it's going to you.
Yeah.
He signs off.
By default,
He
yeah.
signs off on every.
Yeah.
Right.
You sign off,
This will do it.
you sign off on every.
This will do it.
Is Anna in the finance department?
No, but she is my workhorse for bills. And yes,
Who's
I would
that?
love to.
Anna Krolikowski.
Oh, Anna.
Oh, yeah.
Anna could help.
Yes.
She and I
We
work
got a lot of
together,
paperwork for you just recently.
she and I work on
Many
Mayfair
hours.
over and over again,
Yeah.
so.
She could help.
She would be one of my, I look forward to working with her.
She's a pit bull. She'll get
Yeah,
it done.
he's really good.
Yeah.
Do you think that would work?
Yes.
Do, are you saying having her do it, or you having saying having me do it, and I use her all the time?
It's up to you. What's the best arrangement for, if you want to chew on it, understood.
Yeah, okay,
But you handle the income side too, right? With the ticket sales and the sheet,
all that, yeah.
all that, now that goes through your office.
So through the office,
Yeah, and then you take it over and they deposit it, or do you deposit it?
they deposit.
They deposit. You take it over to them and they deposit. So you give them a sheet full of names and all the money or whatever goes with it. Okay.
Yeah, they would be liaison with us and for us to go out and do past sales
Yeah.
Yes,
and things like that. And if we move into other areas such as some merchandising, things like that.
Yeah.
As you know, we're gonna make money.
It's the goal.
George knew what he was getting into.
The question what to do with the money.
All right, so we'll circle back on this.
Does the money
Okay.
get returned from the town each year? Yes, it's-
It's with the town and it stays there.
It's in a
So
special,
They're kind of taking away the carrot.
it's in a special project.
Better
all
problem.
right.
Not supposed to be in the
That's
general.
it.
We don't need to be carrots, right?
Every once in a while, we would buy things out of the special project fund.
Right.
Like we bought a little golf cart ambulance for the EMS people. We bought something for the police department. We bought a flag for you, just.
Yeah.
We'd spend the money out of there for things that relate to that.
There was a fellow who got in a lot of trouble back. Forget his name, Vickers, no guy, I can't remember, but he put in about $10,000 to fund the drop off post office if you were by the area. From leftover money. Had a lot of trouble.
The post office.
The drop off boxes.
Yeah, yeah. I
Dick,
remember
Dick
that.
Rikers?
Yeah.
Dick Rikers.
Really?
I didn't know he did that. I knew he did the post office drop,
That's why
but I never knew where the money came from.
But we do have to have an understanding of what's,
Something.
yeah, what
Sure.
can we spend and what's a
Be nice to know what our balance is.
The problem was he couldn't get.
Not trying for months.
To do
No,
this.
Can't get a number.
Right.
He made a discretionary contribution to another.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll circle back, John. Thank you for that. Item next is very simple, the dates for 2025. So as a matter of public record, we will be having a family fourth on the 4th in 2025 on
Okay.
Friday.
Mhm.
July 4th will be the date of the event. If it rains, then it will be moved to Saturday, July 5th, is the rain date. If it rains on the 5th, we will move it to Saturday, July 12th. If it rains on that date and it's canceled, then the entire event is canceled.
Right.
No,
And what we did the last time, we said that your ticket would be good next year.
very good important point. Thank you, Tom.
But we
The
sold,
ticket would be good for next year.
we sold, let's say we sold $70,000 worth of tickets, okay, and then we said those are all good next year.
Yep.
Then next year came around and this was COVID, I think, cancellation, but the next year came around, we sold another $30,000 the next year, so we had 110,000 income
Yeah.
in one show.
Right.
So our fund balance went up nicely.
There was
Yeah.
no option to get money back.
I wouldn't even try. We always say no refund.
All right, so that takes care of that topic.
Can I ask a question? Is it, I mean, I thought maybe, again, maybe I'm getting confused because the last few years there's some rescheduling due to weather. But has it always been on a Friday or was it on a Saturday? I cannot think about Saturday, I don't know why.
I would say for almost 40 years, it was on the 4th of July. And several years ago, when we get into COVID and things like that, and actually it was Steve's idea to come forward and move it to a Saturday because of the, dealing with the food trucks. Well, I bought $5,000 worth of lobster and now you canceled it and, you made it a week later. What do I do with the food? The porta potty's got to sit out there for another week. The whole idea was to try to have it on a Saturday night with or Friday or Saturday and Sunday. And you hear from everybody, but a lot of people said, well, You know, John doesn't have to go down to the airport and get on a plane to Dallas the next morning.
Mhm.
You know, the kids don't have to go to day camp the next day, put it on a weekend.
Right.
And we did that as a committee, it was unanimous, we voted to put it to, and, you know, Steve was behind it because of all the logistics.
Me personally, more people
Yeah,
say they like it on the weekend,
yeah.
better than having it on the
And the
fourth.
other problem was that the guys setting it off only work on the holiday itself or the weekends. They don't work during weeknights because they have day jobs. So if it doesn't happen on the fourth, then, you know, you gotta kind of do it on the weekend.
Was the choice of the fourth versus the, and fifth backup versus the fifth and the sixth backup?
Well, there was a field, let's try for the fourth.
There's a
Friday
challenge
night.
too, because
Friday
this
night,
happened to
perfect.
us about 3 years ago, 4 years ago. It rained on the fourth, it was so wet, you couldn't have it on the fifth,
Yeah.
because it would have been just a swamp.
Too wet.
Okay, so that's why postponing another week, okay, give things a chance to dry out. Okay, but you gotta end date this, so putting on the bookends of weekends, I think makes a lot of sense. A lot of other towns have done exactly the same thing. We're
So we're lucky, we have Friday, the fourth this year, in
Right.
2026. It's Saturday.
You want to talk about that, 2026, what we're trying to do?
Excellent thing, Tom. Thank you.
It's on your list.
You guys work together?
I don't have an answer per se, but I have a question for the committee, someone who's knowledgeable to answer the question. But what is the status of the contract with the fireworks vendor for 2026?
We got thinking about this. I guess Deanna has formed a committee for 2026, which is the 250th anniversary of our country. And I'm not on the committee, haven't been to a meeting, but I understand from Tucker that they're planning various things throughout the summer.
Are you on the
Exhibition.
Ex officio. Do you know the various things they're planning to do?
They are looking for ideas from the public.
Okay,
That's where the last
all right,
committee, there's gonna be a letter going out,
yeah.
looking for different, whatever groups would want to do.
Well, Tucker looked,
How are we gonna, what's our orbit around this solar system that she's creating?
We're gonna be probably almost dead smack in the middle of it,
yeah,
as far as that.
I think
But
we're gonna
we
be
can-
deciding-
we're gonna be the biggest event.
yeah.
Yeah,
And that's why Tucker and I had a conversation about if that's the case, and that's where you're going, we need to nail down Saturday night, the fourth in 2026.
now,
So we've already contacted the fireworks company. We said we want it on the fourth, the backup can be the fifth, whatever. But we want it on Saturday, the fourth, now, and we want it in writing. And
we're under contract.
we want a contract, yeah, we'll sign a contract. And we're working on that. She says, well, I gotta check with this guy and that guy and this guy and the license guy that sets them off in Connecticut. I gotta make sure it just works for everybody. And we're waiting for that answer right now.
I think it should be pushed.
Yeah.
Soon.
Okay,
I'm gonna throw in my 2 cents.
okay. You come in and you and I and Tucker will get on the phone.
yeah, let me just see what
We'll
the,
send you a deposit,
Yes, exactly.
but lock the
You
damn
know,
thing
lock
in
the
now.
date in one way or another.
I mean, that's the turn 50th anniversary on
and
the
the
fourth.
4th of July is on a Saturday.
Yeah.
so That
Yeah.
makes it
Perfect.
huge.
It's
It's
perfect.
huge.
And
makes
I
it
think
work.
she was afraid to commit so far out, and we said, no, we want it now.
I think all of us in this room can remember 1976.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I was here in 1976, that 4th of July.
okay.
Yeah,
Word was
I
on
was waiting tables. Out of the next.
You can remember
I had
it.
I had to make money.
Dayton, Ohio, doing tax returns.
A couple of emerging topics and, you know, we have some time, so, that concludes the agenda that was sent out. But there's a couple of emerging topics that I have that I'm gonna be working on. I just thought I might share that with the group. John and I have been talking about a family fourth website. Where, and not only for past sales, but you can come onto the website and get information. Where is it? Where can you park? You know, also the sensory awareness situation, not situation, but offering.
Yeah.
You know, so it was a great success for us at the Mayfair. You know, pricing, the food trucks that are gonna be there. What should you bring? What should it pack? The FAQs, you name it. If you lost your child, you go to the administration building, So that's something that we're gonna be,
Would you sell tickets year round and just have it open?
now you're getting into some very interesting territory. Let me just
Gee,
jump.
you guys are working together.
Yeah,
He gave me a list of things to bring up.
Nothing happens in a meeting that I haven't planned.
It's not like something that's online.
yeah.
Bingo. So we were talking, this kind of came from my learning from Tom and learning from having conversations that people not buying a pass, but showing up and going into the grounds, you know, are not going to be challenged. We're not going to cause a kerfuffle. It's not worth it. So in my mind, I said, why don't we advance as many pass sales as possible in advance and push that topic so that the equation kind of comes out. We reduce, maybe we don't reduce the number of people who show up without a pass, but we increase the number of people who buy a pass who may not show. So, you know, it's kind of weird math, but we want to look at that and get those sales up going. And we also want to talk about making a donation.
Yeah.
Because at a lot of different events, people will say, well, you know, the pizza was donated by the George Bennington Society for, you know, this and that.
Now I
And
know where to go for drinks, for pizzas.
right, and the other one we can do is we can have sponsorships. So, you know, the Exchange Club is sponsoring the beverage and ice cream tent. You know, the David Shea Foundation has a little nice tasteful banner somewhere placed up, and you know, we've sponsored the EMS or the VAC, Volunteer Ambulance Corps. You know, things like that, and it was very successful again at the Mayfair. I don't mean to draw on my experience there, but it was valuable experience. We really increased our revenues by over a third with these supplemental revenue items that really didn't cost anything, but added to the enjoyment and the charities that they received. So that was, I jumped into pass sales, but that's gonna be something, and that is taking payment systems. You know, credit cards, no, you know, cash, check, or a credit card, or Apple Pay. God knows we can do Apple Pay at the ice cream tent.
Right.
You know, you accept it.
I think it's good. I think there, Mike Carusi, he worked with before. And we just hired him at the foundation, and I'm on. He's local. He works with a lot of nonprofits, a lot of profits as well. And his pricing is very reasonable.
What's he do?
He designed website design.
Oh,
The website design.
Website
and he
design.
hosts.
He hosts and,
okay.
But he would be under the town.
yeah, now in terms, now,
Yes and no.
Okay.
I think in terms of information and ticket sales, that's great. In terms of sponsorship, not a bad idea. The only thing is that would have to go to Board of Selectmen for approval.
You gotta,
Yeah,
you gotta
it's a
watch it.
tricky area.
Yeah, I might have overstepped that one.
Yeah,
But just keep it
I
simple.
know that we've had, like, with the ice skating rink, the sponsorships there, we said yes, Board of Selectmen said no, you know.
They don't even want us to put dashboard signs up.
No,
you know,
yeah,
they're
well,
in the rink itself.
The rules
see
of the
that?
parks over the years, and I tried to put up signs on the scoreboards and everything else, is no commercialization in this park.
Right.
No commercial, you can't put Carl Chevrolet up there. Put the Carl family, but you can't put Carl Chevrolet.
Yeah, we had the Carl Chevrolet sponsor the pony rides. We had our bell tower. big
Yeah,
sign.
but
Pony
they,
rides sponsored by Carl Chevrolet.
the park rules are very strict on
Yeah,
the
well,
commercialization side of it, and then.
That's,
You just gotta watch, I mean, I had one year, I forget who it was, somebody wanted to be the sponsor for the fourth, like they do down at their end. And they wanted to give me $10,000 to sponsor, and I said, well, that's nowhere near enough. And you're gonna have a big booth there, and you're gonna be passing out stuff and selling stuff. We asked the politicians to not even, walk the grounds when there's an election year. We asked them, please don't do it. It's not legal, we can't do it. But we tell them, no political stuff. No, we don't want anybody going through pushing this charity or pushing that charity. Nobody pushing this commercial thing. That's been the history.
all right, we're gonna kick that to the back burner.
George, who was that, the name of the fellow who does the website?
Michael Carusi, Carusi.
I think that's a good idea, and it's
You
selling
know, but I
tickets.
think a really good idea is the questions coming now. You know, we've been doing it on Saturday, right? And so I got a question last night from somebody. What do you mean it's on Friday?
Yeah, why is the hell's it on Friday?
You know, we took out of that years ago, you know.
Then we're back into Saturday.
But it's a great place if you know, you do a quick
Right.
search, you see, boom, there it's there.
John, what you do is you sell them early. You say, hurry up, because we're gonna sell out. We're gonna stop selling.
Well,
And
We have a
then,
limited number of passes,
And
we're
then-
limited
yeah,
to the number we can
and then
print.
sell and sell and sell and sell and sell, you know.
well, you know, one thing we are losing, is we're losing the ability to park.
We're losing all that parking.
You just picked up the next time.
That's a huge, yeah, you guys work together.
You just picked up the next time. All right, so I will take the concept of sponsorships and tuck it away.
In terms of the website, I mean, if you want to talk to Michael, his fees are pretty reasonable, but there is a cost to how he gets paid from the town. Okay, that's a,
No problem. No, I talk to Michael once a month.
okay,
I got him to go work with Jim Hennessy and,
Dave, I would prefer that you don't give up on the sponsorships.
well, there's a lot to do.
Because there
Two
are
ways,
another
another way of
charitable
sponsorship.
organizations also that would appreciate some flexibility, with discretion.
You could raise some money that way, but I think you gotta be discreet in it, and you gotta watch what the Board of Selectmen has to approve, right?
yeah.
Let me, all right,
It's a tricky issue.
It is.
Well,
It is.
keep it warm.
The town knows that we would like to do that.
Any suggestions who might provide insight as to what discretion would look like? We can take this in executive session. Sorry,
For instance, we do have signs inside our tent. As a thing,
Inside.
inside it.
yeah. But we're not doing that.
The argument would make by way of the dashboard signs that are really not that visible,
Mhm.
and you're not like a billboard sign where everyone to see.
No, we had them up on the Ferris wheel, we had them up on the bell tower, they were
Sure.
big.
Times have changed a little. I remember when we tried to name Copperfield, and boy, it took me 6 months to get that done, but we do have other things named here, like
Right.
But they're not.
Jenny and whatever it
They're
is.
not-
Right, and the New Canaan Athletic Foundation,
Mhm.
sometimes if people, you know, like
Yeah.
Dunning Field.
Yeah, Dunning Field.
People, the
That's
check
okay,
is worth,
because those are not businesses. That's not an advertisement.
That's true. Yeah.
but that's more of a donation and recognition of
True.
that individual for the.
That
It's not a business.
Right.
You know, well, and I remember putting scoreboards up at Mead Park, you know, and I had all these companies, you know, like Walter Stewart's Market.
Mhm.
And they said, no, you can't do that, Tom. You can have Walter Stewart, you can have Steve Carl, but you can't say Carl Sugar.
Butcher Community Ice Cream, Tony Butcher,
Could you-
$1,000.
So here's an
No
example,
problem.
could Walter Stewart bring its antique Ford pickup truck, park it? You say, $200 cab.
Well, they would have, certainly if it was a food truck.
Yeah, but it's just an advertisement.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well, and then you
We'll
open
keep
it
it
up
warm.
to everybody else
we'll
wants that.
talk about that.
And all of a sudden you get caffeine and creamery.
Last topic, and then we can do a potpourri of thoughts. John, the reduced parking, how big a
We're
factor
gonna do
do
that.
we think that's going to be? Well, under whose committee leadership would this topic fall?
I don't know. Okay, little bit, we used to put cars out there. It was really the last spot. And it didn't get filled that much, so I don't think it's the end of the
You be
world.
down, Capo.
You're down Cotton.
Yeah. But you've come up pretty far. You
You
can,
come up pretty
you can
far,
take half
but,
that field away.
yeah, but a lot of the dirt you see out there is gonna be graded off and seeded stuff.
Okay.
So, yes, the field, there's gonna be a fence and everything, so we don't have to worry about people trying to park out there, but.
And Lapham was all for like,
But there's one thing that came up with the caffeine carburetors, the last 2 meetings discussing that, is the fact that they want to turn people away that don't have their pass. And this is being organized a little bit through the police. And which way the cars go. So for them, they're looking at putting somebody there saying, no, you go that way, and you go out to the high school.
We've done that.
And they're planning on blocking the high school from anybody parking in there unless they come through South Avenue.
Yeah.
Because they don't have the
Right.
mass.
Well, Bill Kemp did that years
That's
ago.
new news.
They
Yes.
would redirect.
And that could help us with sales. You're not parking up here without a
I could
pass.
put Tom in the parking lot
There you
with
go.
PayPal.
Yeah.
with,
No, they're not planning on charging any money there.
No.
Everything's in advance. But if you don't have your pass, I
Mhm.
don't want any excuses. You're going to the
Oh,
high
you,
school.
you send them out or what?
Send them out towards the high school. They park in the
They
high
got a
school.
parkway down there.
Yeah.
But what
and you
Bill
pull-
Cap used to do, they'd send them over to the corner. And then they make them pay right there.
Yeah,
They set up a table and they took their money.
Can I ask a question for those who have so much experience maybe? So I'm just thinking about parking and the idea of maybe having a landing page and having our sales come a bit earlier. Did you guys ever try doing something where maybe we kind of come up with a way to kind of divide our parking spaces, maybe you color coded, and you can when you buy your ticket, maybe you buy you buy into a certain parking spot, so that if you buy early, you can choose one of the parking spaces that may be closest to where the lawn chairs are going to be settled in, and the way you start managing more the traffic and how many cars and where they're going to be.
Enforcement, very tough.
Did you ever?
we've thought about it. The hard part is when they come in, it's a free for all almost. There's a lot of people parking cars, but it's awful easy for somebody to get around.
Right.
So the only spots we save are handicap spots.
Yeah,
And they usually all come in at once,
Oh,
too.
well,
I
that's-
mean,
that's the thing.
5:36.
Yeah, what the police say is that we're not stopping that line anything.
Yeah.
So you're gonna stop, well, you're in the red parking, you're in the blue.
This is new.
But it's
Yeah.
good.
It's good for us because that will happen it won't be good for us this year, but it will be good for
You
us.
see how it goes.
See how it goes.
That will spot us on that.
It won't be good for us this year because the Cafe Harbor is in the fall.
It's in October.
I mean, for me, my big concern is at night when everyone is leaving and people are walking between the cars and squeezing in the dark. And everyone is leaving kind of the same time as people are walking to their cars. I know it's hard, but maybe, again, just be great to brainstorm a little bit with so many people that have so much experience. See if there could be any way to enhance that process. And I'm just going to throw an idea. Again, I'm not an expert in this, but right now they're very cheap solar lights that can be kind of staked on the ground.
We do
And you
have,
do like a little path for people to walk to their cars and not squeeze between cars. Kind of things like that.
We can get some more lights, but.
we do rent a lot of light towers and we have some.
We told Steve to go buy some,
Yeah.
how many years in a row?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we have them, and we found a glitch in our way to turn on the girls softball field lights. So we weren't able to get those on last year, figured out the glitch after the fact, that did help. CERT's also there to lead people back to their cars, all the people that walk from the high school
Yeah.
and stuff like that, and they do a very good job.
They're coming in line. After so many years, we used shame sheets for a while. Then I hired the parking department, because they were in uniforms, the badges on, to go down the line of cars outside. And say, where's your pass? Put your pass on the dashboard. You don't have a pass, you shouldn't go in. Because the police would let us stop the line, but I could have these guys walk the line. And say, where's your pass? Where's your pass? Where's your pass?
I can
Get your
tell you
pass.
one.
Oh, my wife got it, the dog ate it, we sold it to the neighbor.
Right.
They're everything in the world.
But if it works for Caffeine and Carburetor,
Yeah.
you push them out.
Yeah,
I'd say, okay, you told us it works now, because they were the ones that said we could never slow
I
down.
wanna see it.
Right.
We've been trying for years.
Mhm.
So we should all attend to the next Caffeine and Carburetors at Waveney, so we can test drive the parking situation, right?
Till
I
September, right?
had a couple before we adjourn. The fireworks contract, we're good for the dates this year, no issues, okay.
It's all signed.
Signed.
Board of Selectmen approved it.
And
Russ approved it. I don't know if that's the PO.
Russ Kimes is all set, he's coordinating with police, fire,
Yeah,
EMS.
he does all those
Those
plans.
plans, he does 50, basically his robot, but,
His 50-page safety report.
sorry, I'm not gonna say that. in public.
Just park the dump
Yeah,
truck.
he said he does a very effective job,
Oh, yeah.
because, okay, but so we're all cool in that, because sometimes they're here. these meetings as well, so as long as they're on the same page, okay. You want to set another meeting, David?
Not at this time, I gotta get together with some peeps.
He's gotta have some more coffees.
Yeah,
More
I gotta
coffees,
have a couple
okay.
more coffees.
I was just unsolicited, gonna suggest,
But
May,
may I ask a question about point of order? What's the difference between this meeting and my report out to the Park and Rec Commission? Is this duplicative or is this?
I would give a summary of what you just went through today,
No, I'm saying is this duplicative of, wouldn't we discuss the same topics at the regular plan and?
Reverend Park.
Park and
What,
Rec?
what I would do is just in your report tonight, I would just give a summary, and it's an excellent summary. Hey, you've got all the chair positions filled. We've got 11 food trucks lined up. We're finally with the fireworks contract.
No, I have that.
Yeah, but that's all you need to do.
In general, you're.
I'm
not-
saying, is
you're not
this
asking-
meeting
I'm sure. I understand.
duplicative of what I'm gonna do?
You're not asking the commission for their opinion per se or question.
No, it's just a
We're
report.
reporting, of course, they're entitled to ask a question or
Right.
two, but it won't take, really, it couldn't take as much time. George, you get out in time.
You give it 5 minutes versus 50 minutes.
Yeah. all right.
Yeah, that's right. But it's
Just
not,
wanna make sure.
yeah, you don't have to have any approval or anything like that, no.
But we should have the next meeting, Park and Rec meets at 7, this meeting should be at 6.
I agree.
Then why don't we set a date? 6 o'clock before the next Park and Rec meeting.
When's the next Park and Rec?
Well,
Hold on a second, I'll tell
12th
you.
of March.
but do you want to, do we need to have one in March, or I was thinking May? Unless you guys disagree.
March. I wanna.
To get better organized and to change, the transition.
Cadence going, it's March 12th.
year.
That's fine.
The next meeting will be 6 P M,
March 12th.
1 hour before Park. And back.
316, you said?
360 or 312.
312.
6 P M.
This is 212.
Right, 28 days.
6 P M.
Fantastic.
Here,
Great.
Works out here.
Yeah, why don't we have it here? Let's do
So
it.
it's perfect for me. with
Yeah.
Zoom and everything else, and then it's just. switch
Yeah,
it
you know
over.
what? I'll bring the pizza.
There we go.
I'll bring,
Okay.
you know,
on,
a little notch.
is that a Wednesday?
Where was
It
the
is.
pizza?
I will be here doing taxes.
There you go.
So you're gonna spend another whole
I'm
day.
doing tax work and,
Yeah,
you know, we got a bribe.
yeah, but we end at 3 and you don't start at 6.
I'm a Joe's Pizza Man.
Who's in taxes?
Public.
AARP, public 3.
Okay,
3.
that's nice. That's nice.
Melanie, we're gonna see you?
Good to see you, Melanie. We'll see you in a little bit.
Yes, my husband arrived. He's staying with the boys. I'll drive over there in person. Thank you. Bye.
Right here.
George, we're going to try to come in on a Zoom on the next one. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but.
You've officially called it to the end, right?
We're past your bedtime.
That-
Yeah.
that also-
We'll shut her down.